So, about a month ago, I went to a job interview for one of the most misleading advertisements I'd ever seen. I applied thinking it was a customer service job. And in my mind, I figured it was probably something where you're in an office building selling products over the phone, or, maybe working somewhere and selling things, again, usually from people coming in there. The only thing I knew about the job, besides where it was located, was that it was full time, which had me assuming it was a 9 to 5. And after trying it out for a few days, I walked away with several reasons for stepping away from it. One was that I thought the hours were just too rigorous. They want you to come in their office at 9 in the morning, and then at 12 o'clock you'll have an hour-long lunch break, and then between 1 and 8 o'clock you'll be outside knocking on doors for the rest of the afternoon and most of the early evening. And this is something where they want you to do that Monday through Friday. They want you to do that while being able to sell at least 3 of their crap to people each day. Also on Sunday, you have a shorter shift where the same rules apply. They still want you to sell things on Saturday. So it's actually 6 days, and altogether it's like 50 or 60 something hours of work each week. And I thought that was too much. I thought it's insane that they would actually get upset with you for not being able to sell their stuff. Just, all these factors together made me say, forget it. And I also mentioned I'm not comfortable with knocking on doors after, the sun goes down. So I walked away from it. I said, okay, well, that's behind me. And I go on the same website, just applying for stuff. And I see where there's, some other positions that are also saying they're, customer service, etc. And that's when it strikes me that this place actually has several aliases, or like different names that it uses. And once I realized that it was the same place again, because I was contacted by the same hiring manager who I met in person while I was, briefly, an employee there, I walked away again. Now, I'm going to show this on the screen. These people have contacted me, and I need to also make this clear. I don't go on these different, websites looking for jobs every day. Sometimes I go a few weeks without doing it. I just, get sick of it after a while, take a little break. This place has sent me not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 text messages that I have never responded to because I know what they are. I'm not interested in them. They have called me multiple times, including leaving me a voicemail to try to get me to come in. And it's funny, the guy that they got to call me actually was coming into the place along with me, so I recognized both his voice and his name, and I was like, yeah, that's like further confirmation it's the same old crap. But I said, isn't it crazy how you can turn a job down? You can say, you know what, man, I thought I could work here. I really did. And I tried to convince myself that I was desperate enough to be uncomfortable and be okay with, having my livelihood determined by if 3 people buy something from their stupid company every day. But I couldn't do it. And it's insane to me that after walking away, after wiping my hands of these people, here they are. They just keep resurfacing. They will not let me go. I don't think I've ever, and I've been applying for jobs for years. I've worked my current one now for, was it like 17, 18 months. I don't think I've ever, in all my years of applying for work and trying to be an employee somewhere, seen a job this desperate. Seen one where they're calling me over and over again. They're, contacting me repeatedly, and I don't respond to them at all. They get no text messages from me. But here they are, trying to get me to come into their office or, go to their little Zoom interview for the 3rd or 4th time. And there's another place that I went to back in March. And these guys drove me crazy because where they're located is an area I don't like because the parking over there is horrendous. It's another one of these places where you either pay for parking or you have to walk some extremely far distance, like a whole mile, just to like go to, I'm not even exaggerating, like they make the streets designed to just have nowhere you can just park a car and then go into the job. And I go to this interview, I answer all their questions, and they send me a Dear John letter, thank you for your interest, but we've decided to move forward with other people, yada, yada, yada. So then a month passes, and like, I'm not even like really that upset over it because I didn't like how far away it was, like 15 miles to get over there. And it's a pretty similar gig to this. And about a month passes, and I start to get calls from the same company, and I'm starting to think, okay, maybe this is like, because I said I'm not going to apply to any more jobs in that area, right? I start getting calls, and I remembered that the lady who interviewed me said her name was Purple, which I instantly made me just kind of like, oh, this is a scam, because I've never, when have you ever seen somebody with that as their name? And when I was getting voicemails from this company that, once again, turned me down, I recognized her voice, and she was identifying herself as some other name, because of course, they have all these aliases, like they're damn special agents or something. But I said, isn't it crazy how, like, this job, right? This job that's in my opinion too far away. This job that in my opinion is, just somewhere that I'm okay with not working for them, even if they're the ones that turned me down. It's like they rejected me. They said I was not good enough for them. And here we are a little bit over a month later, and they're bending over backwards trying to get me to respond to them. They have called me 3 times. I had to block the number because I was getting sick of getting the same stupid voicemail over and over. Hello, this is, like, I didn't want to keep hearing that and being told to call a number back I had no intention of calling back. But you get the idea that I've noticed this trend where, so the jobs I would want are more, competitive, whatever, but the ones that I don't want for the reasons I've given, too far away, the stuff that you're doing, I just think is ridiculous. Hours are too excessive or too little, whatever. A lot of them are very, very desperate to get someone to come in. Again, this place I turned down a month ago, after they were, talking about you need to sell 3 things every day. They have sent me, and I'm showing this on the screen, or I showed it on the screen earlier, 5 text messages with no response from me. They are literally talking to themselves in my messages. This other place, they turned me down. They rejected me. And now here we are a month later, and they're calling from different numbers. They're sending text messages. They're leaving voicemails. Something is going on. And I know someone in my comments, like when I did the first, our employers are getting, more and more desperate. They said it was because people are becoming more self-employed. I really feel like a lot of people, they go into a job like this where they're misled, right? The job tells them it's one thing and then it turns to be something else. And they try to convince themselves, I can maybe do this, right? I can maybe be what this place wants me to be. And after a few days, a few weeks, they say the hell with it. Because I quit that other place within the span of a week. Like, I was doing the preliminary stuff where they bring you in each day for a little bit to kind of like rev you up to go out and canvas. And I just said, you know what, man? I'm not doing this. It's stupid. So they're getting more and more people who are having that response where they're going in, they're being again misled into even having an interview there, right? They're being told, oh, it's full time, but not 60 hours. They're being told that it's customer service, but not canvassing. And then when they get there, they try to go, okay, I can do this. And then as things mount on them, as they think more about it, as they actually start to experience, they say, this is stupid. So yeah, it's real fun to be on the receiving end of to be the rejector instead of the rejectee, like, okay, if these companies are going to be so far away and they're going to put me under these litmus tests of you need to sell this many times, because like with a lot of jobs, whether you're working in a warehouse or like, basically they've turned customer service into a position that is dependent on someone else's wishes, like the autonomy of the customer, whether they buy a certain number of this each day determines your employment. which I think is absolutely insane when you also remember that this place expects so much out of you that it's a full-time position and you literally can't work anywhere else because you just won't have the time to work somewhere else due to how excessively they're using you. But it's like they're not using you that much because you're like a valued member of their supposed team. Because like I said, if you don't sell 3 of this product, they're going to throw you in the gutter. So a lot of people see that and they preemptively say, okay, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to waste my time, being used that much just to be treated that way, just to be discarded so easily. So they're getting their just desserts. But I have to say, it has been entertaining to watch them, again, bend over backwards to try to get me to come. Said, no. When I really needed a new job in December, nobody wanted to hire me. And now they're a day late and $1 short.